I said the ding dong daddy had his usual soul. The lonely women flocked to him and he loved them all. The train went in a tunnel in the dark he proposed. The bonds of matrimony in that sweetest prose. The ladies got together and decided they've been had. The Saint saw the leg and you ain't Don Juan, man. You gotta you gotta give him credit. He was having more time to the ding dong daddy of that D-car line. Oh well.
From high atop the battlements of Castle Curmudgeon, where a federal district judge in northern Massachusetts has just ruled that I can't open with the joke I was going to open with, or else I'll be deported to El Salvador, which is a real shame because I thought it was kind of a good joke, and I'm sure that man loved that camel very much. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America and all ships at sea. Welcome to the Blast Radius. Delighted you could join us this evening. Here is your golden age of Western civilization news roundup for the week ending 11 April 2025. Dateline Birmingham, Monday 7 April. The residents of England's second largest city joined a very exclusive fraternity this week, a fraternity whose members include, New Delhi, Shanghai, Mogadishu, maybe Kuala Lumpur, and whose only membership criterion is you have to have a mountain of garbage that's visible from the International Space Station. You know, I think technically New Delhi's mountain garbage is the tallest man-made structure in that fair municipality. Now, will Birmingham get to that same point? It's hard to say, but it looks like they've got a puncher's chance, by God. Now, what's the tallest structure currently in Birmingham? And I mean, the one that they built on purpose? Well, it's a tie, actually, between two apartment towers that each looks, in its own way, like a post-modern brutalist nightmare, as all new buildings are required to do. In any event, they are both 155 meters tall. That's 509 feet for those of us out in the civilized world who still use imperial units. And the impasse between the local council and the garbage workers doesn't look like it is going to be resolved anytime soon. So we might just have the exact right confluence of ingredients that makes a new member of the Space Mountain Garbage Club. Space Garbage Mountain? I don't know. We're still kicking ideas around the office. Give us some time on this. And what ingredients do you need? First, you need a whole shitload of garbage. Check. Second, you need a crippling breakdown in basic governance that lasts for a good long time. Check. And third, you need a population that is willing to live waist deep in squalor and filth, and apparently check on that one too. You wouldn't expect a great English city like Birmingham to be a place like that, but there's a common saying that you're not really allowed to say in polite company that says if you open up the floodgates of mass migration, if you bring in millions of third world migrants while making no effort to acculturate them to your own society's values and social mores, you just might wind up turning the first world into the third world. What does that process look like in a snapshot? Well, it looks like a fucking garbage pile you can see from space. Dateline Washington, Tuesday, 8 April. What does MAGA stand for? Well, this week, it stands for Managing Arboreal Gardens Awesomely, which is exactly what President Donald Trump did earlier this week when he replaced a very old, very bad, very dilapidated magnolia tree with a very strong, very powerful, very gorgeous, brand new magnolia, to use the president's parlance, tree. It's a great tree, fantastic tree, nobody's ever seen anything like it. The tree the magnolia tree is replacing, which was known as the Jackson magnolia, it had stood outside the south portico of the White House since the administration of, if you hadn't guessed, Andrew Jackson, of all people. And while she was a very old and a much-loved tree, she was deader than a doornail. She was probably becoming a safety hazard in certain wind conditions, and her roots were turning the adjacent ground into an icky, boggy mess that sort of wrought havoc with ladies' high-heeled shoes whenever there was a formal event on the South Lawn. And that was actually the very first thing that Trump listed when they asked why he decided to do this tree replacement right now. He was less bothered by the prospect of the tree falling down and killing somebody than he was by the prospect of his female guests getting their fancy shoes ruined. And more power to him. I'm not even making a joke here. The man is in the hospitality business, after all. He is highly attuned to providing the best possible experience for his guests and making sure that they feel comfortable and at ease. You don't believe me? Just ask Bill Maher. And if you haven't seen, they really put a great set of action photos out of Trump personally turning the first shovel full of earth with his gold-plated shovel, because of course it was a gold-plated shovel. And then he's giving a series of very animated instructions to the White House groundskeepers, and you can picture exactly what he's saying in these pictures. I want this to be a very great tree, a very strong tree, a very powerful, beautiful tree. And just picture what that scene would have looked like if it was a Democrat president. They would have had him wearing gloves and a hard hat and a safety vest, eye protection, earplugs, goggles, face shield. They would have had cones and caution tape out to a half-mile radius. It would have been like when they sent Mayor Pete to East Palestine and he looked like goofy little Lego construction man action figure. In fact, picture that scene if the president was Gavin Newsom. Knowing what we know about how much that dude absolutely loves to put on his disaster jeans and go play action hero governor man. And look, say whatever you want about President Donald Trump, but he is the only politician in history who is free of any political artifice. You get a guy in a blue suit, a red tie, black shoes, ridiculous hair that's held in place with his personal supply of Aquanet Extra Super Hold that I know for an absolute fact that he's had socked away in a bunker ever since they banned the stuff 20 years ago. And if the wind is too stiff one day for the Aquanet to overcome it, then occasionally you'll get him in a red baseball cap. It hasn't yet been decided as we go to press what the plan is for the disposition of the remains of the Jackson Magnolia. But if we're tossing ideas out here, I'm saying wooden nickels, Jackson's face on one side, Trump's face on the other side. Take my money right now, I will buy a dozen. Dayline, New York City, Wednesday, 9 April. In a speech at Hamilton College earlier this week, former President Barack Obama, of all people, made the wildly untrue, provably false, five-alarm pants-on-fire claim that he, President Barack Obama, was a president who totally sparkly-hearted free speech, and the current president, the bad orange man who shovels dirt without safety goggles, well, not only is he an affront to workplace safety regulations, but he is also an affront to the holy and sacred First Amendment itself. Why? Because he doesn't think we should be paying for people to attend our universities who hate everything about our country and want to actively help our enemies destroy our entire way of life. I know, it is such crazy right-wing extremism. Whatever shall we do? Well, I know what I'm going to do. I am fixing to dust off my trusty Barack Obama impression, by God. So here it is directly from the horse's mouth. Quote, I'm more deeply concerned with what a federal government that threatens universities if they don't give up students who are exercising their right to free speech. I am more troubled by the idea that a White House can say to law firms, if you represent parties that we don't like, we're going to pull all our business or bar you from representing people effectively. That kind of behavior is contrary to the basic compact we have as Americans. Imagine if I had done any of this. Imagine if I had pulled Fox News' credentials from the White House press corps. But you're laughing, but no, that's what is happening. End quote. And sir, I wouldn't be so sure to conclude that the audience was laughing with you, because there's a fair to middling chance they were laughing at you for being such an incredibly astounding douchebag hypocrite, since you actually did threaten to pull Fox News' press credential during your presidency, like, more than once, if we're being technical, and you never missed a chance to attack them when you didn't approve of their reporting. And you know what? You would have been perfectly within your rights to do that. No news organization is automatically entitled to a seat in that briefing room, much less to a suite of rooms in the West Wing. How about let's end the argument right now and agree that the president gets to decide who has a seat in that room and nobody gets to bitch about it. Ever. Or better yet, let's end the in-person briefings altogether and we'll do them over a Zoom call. And reporters can only submit questions by text. And if they put their pronouns in profile, they get moderated right into the fucking bin of doom. No more dumbass feats of performance art in the White House briefing room ever again. I will make that deal right now. Dateline Berlin, Thursday, 9 April. Heads exploded all across the globalist douchebag left earlier this week with the release of a new Ipsos poll that indicates that Alternative for Germany, the good old AfD, has become for the first time the most widely supported party in that country on a nationwide basis. Now, if you get your information about the world from the mainstream fake news media, you've probably heard that the AfD is a very, very dangerous extremist right-wing something or other, but then you've probably heard the exact same thing about President Donald Trump, haven't you? And in both cases, all it has taken to be branded extreme right-wing is simply to ask questions like, how about let's not have open borders and unlimited mass migration? And there's an even deeper layer of irony at play in Germany, because obviously any German party that is seen as remotely right of center will be portrayed as National Socialists in disguise who wish to bring about the rise of the Fourth Reich or something or other. But you know what's quaint about that whole line of thinking? Is the fact that currently, right now today, there are vast swaths of Berlin and Munich and Stuttgart and other cities where Jewish people effectively cannot go without being killed. And who's been running things in Germany for the last 20 or 25 years? Well, it sure as shit wasn't the right-wingers. It was the sensitive, tolerant liberals who say diversity is our strength, immigrants are welcome here, and every other dumb sing-song canard that gets incessantly deployed in defense of that discredited, indefensible, failed, destructive worldview. Now, for a long time, AfD has been the leading party in the states that comprise the former East Germany, which stands to reason, because those guys have got an even rawer deal out of the whole globalism thing and the open borders thing than the rest of their country has. They were only given 25 years to recover from communism before they received the wondrous gift of open borders that they never asked for. When your society is already struggling to recover from a half-century-long trauma, and then you tell it to absorb millions of third world migrants when things already aren't that great for the people who are from there? Does it stand to reason that perhaps an anti-mass migration party might have fairly broad appeal for reasons that don't have anything to do with racism or xenophobia? Because by all appearances, the western part of Germany is starting to come around to thinking what they have been thinking in the eastern part of Germany for quite some time now. And maybe there is no ism or phobia that's got any damn thing to do with it. Maybe people would just like sensible governance that affords them an even shake and a fair shot in life. I know, I'm talking crazy. I'll stop now. Dateline Washington, Friday, 11 April. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, while taking a well-earned break from dressing up as DHS Barbie, encouraged all Americans this week to go out and get a real ID before the 7th of May, or you will not be able to go on an airplane or inside a federal building or any number of other things. And I guess this announcement functions also as a sort of fun thank you note to our state governments for making our driver's licenses and ID cards so completely worthless as identity documents that we might as well have gotten them out of a fucking Cracker Jack box. Last time I got pulled over, I hand my license to the cop. He says, "Okay, who are you really?" I said, "How many lifelines do I have left? Can I phone a friend? Because if not, I'll do multiple choice." Now, you remember that old internet meme from about 20 years ago? It was a driver's license that said Republic of Mexifornia. I'm pretty sure that thing functions now as an actual California identity document, if I'm not... I think Juan Valdez and his trusty borough both used that thing to get free health care and housing, if I'm not mistaken. But all joking aside, how about let's ask the only question that matters? If our standard state-issued driver's licenses and IDs are so functionally worthless as identity documents that we can no longer use them to gain access to a commercial airline flight or a VA building, why can they still be used for purposes of voter registration? Oh darn, have I gone and said the quiet part out loud again? Because when you start giving out driver's licenses to illegal aliens and all you require for proof of identity to register for voting is a driver's license and a utility bill, I feel like your object is to get lots of illegal aliens onto the voter rolls. In fact, I see no other possible reason for doing that. Let's not pretend it's about public safety. Nobody here was born yesterday. You created a set of circumstances that facilitated illegal aliens registering to vote because you wanted illegal aliens registering to vote because you think it helps your party win elections. So let's recap for those fans keeping score at home. The Democrats control the entire media establishment, the entire academic establishment, the entire administrative state, the film industry, the music industry, every cultural institution that can be captured. They've captured it. And they've managed to get untold millions of illegal aliens onto the voter rolls. And somehow, improbably, against all possible odds, they still managed to get their ass kicked good and hard by Donald J. Trump. I'm not saying there really is an arc of history and it really does bend toward justice, but I am also not dismissing that possibility out of hand. You have my word on it. You got Juan Valdez's word on it. And you've got the Burroughs word on it. And don't ask us what the three of us are going to be up to later because, trust me, you don't want to know. And since there's only 5 days in the work week, that is all your humble correspondent has for you today. So this is where I hand you fine people off to my distinguished colleague, your illustrious co-host, a man with such airtight credentials as a large furry hominid. He views an epilady as a weapon of mass destruction. The one and only, your friend and mine, Mr. Caucasian Sasquatch.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Jesus Christ, I'm such an amateur. Nah, all right, let's try this. As if nothing has happened. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Blast Radius, where tonight we're going to go over a handful of things, and I have found the very strangest person I've ever seen being pulled over. And homie gets pulled over in the middle of nowhere, doing absolutely nothing, and still gets locked up. All right.
Well, now I want to watch that, because I
We're
just
gonna
made a
check
joke
it out.
about getting pulled over.
Yeah, we're absolutely going to check it out. So when I show you this vehicle, I want you to be absolutely clear that they're not doing anything wrong. This is America. They don't have to show their ID until there's a reasonable suspicion.
What
So,
state are we in here?
a state of inebriation. No, not 100% on that. I think it's Florida. I mean, I'm guessing. What's up, Exiled One? Before we go into the video, though, we're going to do chat. We forgot.
Hello,
to do
chat.
it sometimes. Hi, chat. Okay, so now that chat's been done, we're going to go straight into the video. Everybody check out StreamYard because I accidentally pushed the button. Scotty Waddles, what is up? Hey now, Kissy May. Hi, all. How are you doing today? Hello, darling. Nice.
All the
to see
legends are here.
Yep, we got the legends. Let's see. We got me posting a bunch of crap. ATL Transparency News. Welcome in, brother. I appreciate the share. You know that. We got Exiled One in chat. That's we might talk backstage about this gentleman at some point in time if it ever becomes an issue. John Denicola is in chat. I appreciate that, brother.
Hello, John. Good to see you.
You want to try to say that one?
Which one? The one that's on the screen?
Yeah.
Clue Studio?
Clue Studios.
Clue.
I hear you,
Since,
baby.
since there's two U's, I'm just going to say Clue.
That works. We've got the Still Man in chat. Good to see you, brother. I appreciate you coming through. Any shares would be appreciated. Peace Dynamo. I like that name. I really dig it. Once it gets
I like
going,
that name too. That name gives me happy feelings.
happy, fuzzy, warm, inside type feelings. The Canned Up Caveman, brother, missed you. Did too. All right, I'm going to show you this.
Who doesn't want to be a Peace Dynamo? I want to be a Peace Dynamo.
Right? That is a magnificent concept. I love it. I'm going to show you this car, and I want to know. I'm going to give you about 3 seconds with it, and then I want you to tell me, are you going to pull it over? Are you going to pull that car?
I feel like that's a loaded question.
It's the only car I've ever seen that looks more like a duck blind than a duck blind.
I think I'm going to need to see more evidence before I jump to a judgment.
All right, I'm going to tell you what I see in this picture.
What is he? Does he have wood strapped to the top?
Right. This is a lovely young lady of about 53 years old. She is driving what appears to be a maybe a LeSabre or something like that, and she has stacked on top of it a pile of wood. And in the car, packed away so tight that the person in the back seat is literally plastered against the window. A bunch of
I was hoping that was a person in the back seat and not dismembered body parts.
It is a living person. They are alive. And
okay, good.
Yeah, that's a check. That is a check. And well, I mean, I'll just let homie show you. This is from Donnie Rapture. If you've never come across this channel, he has some of the best body cam things that I've come across, and it's always something that you've never seen before. And I'll repeat, yes, that's
I'm beyond fascinated at this point.
All right, check it out.
What are you doing with all this?
Down here to fish at the creek.
Where'd y'all get all that wood from?
I kind of dig that jam too.
Welcome back to the Donnie Rapture channel.
Why is it so
I
low?
always bring you fresh, never before seen body cam footage. In today's body cam video, we will be following Officer Stallings, who's a beloved character in the FWC cinematic universe.
What do you think you're doing, you stupid ass?
He was on patrol looking for night hunters when he
Is it just me, or does it sound like it's in a box to everyone else too?
It sounds slightly strange, but not unhearable from my end.
Traveling down the trail road with no visible plate light. Oh, and it was covered with tree limbs and
better?
branches, almost as if it was being used as camouflage.
How are you doing?
Yeah, what's
Hey, how are
up
you
with
doing? Just a second.
Sure.
That's a lot of wood to strap to a sedan.
I agree.
And
Personally,
what are they holding it down with? Is that like baling
Nothing.
wire?
no, I don't see anything actually. There is a single strap hooked to a popped up. No, that's actually a limb. I don't see anything holding it down.
So is this car in motion when it's getting pulled over, or did the cop come up on an immobile vehicle?
No. The car is in motion and drove by the cop. I think they'll go over that in a second, but they're going to start off with where the car has actually been pulled over. But yeah, I personally, and also here's another thing, they're actually on a trail road. This isn't technically a state maintained highway. It is a federally maintained trail road, as I understand it. So,
Which means whole different jurisdiction.
some weirdness, yeah, definitely some weirdness.
Hey, so number one, you don't have a tag light at all. That's
I
reason
must
for-
have come undone. It's got a little short in it. I have to have it hot glued.
okay.
Something like
What
that.
are you doing with
We're
all
going
this?
down here to fish at the creek.
Where'd y'all get all that wood from?
Just picking it up off the side of the road.
You just taking it in the management area?
We're going to take it down here and put it in a little burn area.
Okay.
and
You got
fish.
your driver's license on you,
Mm.
registration, proof of insurance. Do y'all have any weapons in the vehicle?
No, sir.
I bet that girl has never done crystal meth one time in her entire life.
Got any weapons? No handguns?
No,
Nothing?
We got fishing poles.
You don't got anything else in the vehicle I need to know about?
Sure don't. We just come up here. We're gonna build a fire.
So would you pull this car? Oh, I'm sorry. Would you pull this car over?
Yes.
I think I would too.
Just for the wood.
Right? Just for the wood, for nothing else. But tag light out. That also counts. Reasonable.
Yeah. If I've got probable cause for the pullover, that's great, but I still would have done it just for the wood. I just want to know the story behind that. And I know when I get to that driver's side window, there's going to be exactly that kind of fucking 53-year-old crystal meth chick looking back at me.
Did y'all see anybody when y'all came back up from that way?
What is it?
Where y'all came from? Did y'all see anybody back up there? Any
There was
hunters?
somebody in a gray truck parked on the side of the road. I didn't actually see them.
Okay.
I just seen the door open.
Nobody out here night hunting?
I don't know what they was doing. Honestly, they was just like I said. The driver's door was open, but there wasn't nobody in the vehicle.
Okay. Well, if you can get your registration and your insurance, that'd be good. Anybody in that other side over there?
Yeah, well, that's all our people.
Okay. Y'all all from around here? Do y'all have a reserved campsite?
Huh?
Do you have a reserved campsite?
No, we're not camping. We're just fishing. That's just all my stuff I carry with me every night.
Got a lot of stuff in there, camping materials.
I'm a fishing freak. That's what I do every day, all day.
Y'all plan on staying out here tonight with all this stuff?
We're gonna stay all night. We're gonna fish till we get tired and then go home.
Where are you going to fish? Is my question.
Just right down here at the dead end, Doyle Creek.
Okay, Doyle Creek. All right.
Yeah, it's just right here. Just right over here at the dead end. Right.
No problem. Appreciate it. No big deal.
All right. I just got pulled over the other day, so I know myself right on top.
All right.
The guy in the passenger seat doesn't seem like a very gregarious fellow.
Oh, just a second, okay?
I gotta be honest with you, man. That just seeing the guy in the passenger seat might have been enough for me to pull him over. And I wasn't even gonna bring it up. I was gonna let that sail right by.
he's just sitting there looking straight ahead with that cigarette dangling out his mouth, going, "Please don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me. I'm not here. I'm invisible. Please, God, make me invisible, because I got so many fucking warrants."
Probably. Have you ever had a warning or ticket for your tag light?
I got pulled over. They never really. I mean, they gave me a warning, but like I said, it's got a short in it. Every now and then I have to go out there and just.
Yeah, it's got like there's like no light at all.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, that's a perfect excuse for a cop to pull you over every time.
I'm honestly glad that you let me know because you see how it's duct taped up.
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever it falls down, it'll make it come undone. So we got duct taped up to drink those that can get in it.
Do y'all have anything in the vehicle I need to know about?
Oh my God!
All right, children. This is the time where I ask you if you think in your heart of hearts that these people might have something in the car that he needs to know about.
Yeah, do you have something in the car I need to know? I'm guessing that's going to be a pretty long list.
Yeah, they use
sir.
What's up, Rock Empowerment?
There's absolutely no illegal substances involved in the scene that you're looking at right here with this sedan with wood strapped to the top that we found on the side of the road. There's no drug use involved here whatsoever, and we resent the implication.
Bro, she got more cover than my duck line. I'm just saying, like.
I just want to know how many states the guy in the passenger seat is wanted in.
I bet they regret this fishing trip.
Where's all their fishing gear, for Christ's sake?
In the back seat.
You mind if I check?
We were gonna use the driftwood to fashion fishing poles out of.
We've got a BB gun.
BB gun? You don't have any firearms?
No.
Okay. Because I know she got a lot of traveling equipment. Where are you from?
I'm right here in this one.
Okay. Sir, do you mind stepping out of the vehicle for me? Do you mind? Can I get your ID from you?
I don't have an ID.
What's your name?
Whatever you want it to be.
Hey, buddy, what would you like to call me, sir?
Yeah. What's my name? Well, my name could be any number of things. You want to talk about it?
That face. That's the I'm totally screwed face, and I know it.
Yep, that's the I was hoping he wasn't going to talk to me face, and he just talked to me.
Yeah, it's all over but the crying now, bud. All over but the crying.
Are you from here?
No, not really.
Not really.
I have family here, and I work over in Appalachia. I've been here since December.
Okay. I'm just wondering what y'all are doing with all the wood, because
Oh, for
We're
fire?
going to build a fire.
I mean, you said that you're leaving. You're not staying all night, so I'm just.
Everybody went down here to build a fire. We on the way down Buckside with us.
Sir, do you have anything on you?
No.
Can I pat you down? Do you have any weapons on you?
No, I ain't got no weapons on me.
Can I pat you down?
I'd rather you not.
Okay, that's fine. Line up here to the front for me if you don't mind.
I would rather not.
I would rather you not.
Arm on you, buddy.
I'm going to
Can
jail if you
lift your
pat me
jacket
down,
so I can
sir.
make sure, just for my sake. That's cool. Ma'am,
Yep.
can you give me permission to search your whole vehicle?
Yeah, well, there ain't nothing
You
here.
have
Purple.
any-
I mean, there's knives and
any-
that BB gun.
Now, was that English?
Substances in this
Yep.
vehicle.
Not that I know of. No, sir.
Okay.
Actually, I'm on probation. I get a test.
Possibly
My
Boonhour?
God, she's on probation. I never would have guessed.
Who, her? Nah, never. It can't be. I mean, she's a saint.
She is the last person I would expect to have a criminal record.
This is all
Okay,
randomly.
so if I call the K9 out here, he's not going to find anything on the vehicle.
No, sir.
Okay, about anybody in the vehicle.
No, sir, man.
What are you dropping out of your pocket? What are you holding? This right there. Don't do that.
All right. At this point, we come to the real crux of the issue. Do you reckon he dropped illegal substances,
Weapons.
illegal paraphernalia, or pixie dust? Pick one and let me know in chat.
It may have been all of the above. I'm gonna guess the most likely one is illegal narcotics for 100, Alex.
All right. Let's see where we go with it.
What are you doing right now? What are you pulling your pocket out of your pants for? Put that down. Put that down right now. I can see it. Okay. Sit down on the ground. Why are you trying to get rid of something, man? What is that? What is it?
A bag.
A bag of what? I don't want to touch it.
Okay.
What is it? Why did I start asking questions? You start getting rid of stuff out of your pockets. All I did was ask you a question, okay? And then you start throwing stuff. You didn't even have to get rid of it. What is it? Can you see if there's a K9 team on with the county? Why are you getting nervous, dude? I don't even know what that is yet. You didn't tell me. You just said it was a bag. What's the substance in the bag? Y'all got any, you don't have no weapons on you, right? Okay.
Like I said, a BB gun.
Isn't there still a dude in the back seat?
Turn around, put your
There's
hands on
someone in the back
Put your
seat.
cigarette out.
I bet it's Hunter Biden.
With the suspicion that is. Why are you shaking so much, dude? Don't be twitching on me, okay?
I was just turning my wrist around.
That's cool. Don't be twitching on me. Turn your wrist around. You got your hands turned the wrong way. I'm gonna fix this. Don't you fight me. I will tase
I'm
you.
not fighting nothing.
4415 tell us I need
I
K9
will tase you, bro.
for drugs. You know what? Before I even figure out what that is, here's what we're gonna do. Is this recording?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
I don't
So
think
here's
so.
my question. Does it matter whether he answers yes or no to that question?
I don't think it does.
What should the response be by the officer if he says yes?
That's a fascinating question, isn't it?
And if he says no, does that answer change?
I wouldn't think it. I would think that would default to a matter of department protocol, and it
All right.
probably varies from department to department.
You're correct on that point. My issue with it is he asks him if he's recording. He says, I don't think so. This implies a lack of intent to record, and therefore him turning off the phone is perfectly acceptable. However,
Right.
had he said, yes, I am recording, turning off the phone would be a breach of or at least a chilling effect to this First Amendment. That's my take on it.
It would, and it is. I think it gets into a series of much larger and very important questions, because I think everybody by now has seen the value of police body cams and agrees with their deployment, at least to some extent. But, however, if it's proper for the police to be recording the people they arrest, how can it be deemed improper for the subject of the arrest to be recording the police? It's a difficult question, isn't it?
Not really. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that it is legal in all 50 states in almost all cases to record the police while they are in the process of performing their duties. That
So-
time, place, and manner restrictions are the only restrictions other than private property restrictions. Beyond that, the only other consideration is whether or not you're in a two-party auditory consent state. And if you are not, then it's one party consent state. Then I can record anything, anywhere, anytime I get good and ready, provided I'm not in private property and been specifically asked not to.
Which makes me wonder if, when the cop asks him the question whether or not the phone is recording, does he already know the answer and he's just going to proceed based on how the subject responds to the question, whether he's actually consciously filming with intent to film versus my phone just started recording accidentally or inadvertently, because
Well,
it might
let's
change
look at
the
how
way
he
that he's
deals with it.
supposed to proceed, mightn't it?
It might, but let's see how he deals with it specifically.
Yeah.
You know what? Before I even figure out what that is, here's what we're gonna do. Is this recording?
No, I don't think so.
All right. So as far as I could tell, he saw that it was like the closed screen on it,
Mm-hmm.
and dropped it in his pocket. There was no attempt to stop it from doing anything it was doing. He simply asked, dude said no, dropped it in his pocket. I don't see anything nefarious with that. But the question itself is kind of a debatable question. Why would it matter if you're recording?
It wouldn't seem like it would, especially since we already know the cop is recording. So aren't we just all recording the same thing? And what difference should it make?
Exactly. Which I think he kind of handled it right. Because, I mean, like I said, he just kind of looked at it, determined that it, was active, and dropped it in his pocket. Didn't really mess with it.
He didn't seem too concerned with what the answer was. He just
Right.
kind of wanted to know.
Yeah. Although, why?
Yeah.
You know what? Before I even figure out what that is, here's what we're gonna do. Is this recording?
No, I don't think so.
I'm gonna read you your rights. Okay. You already know your rights, but I'm gonna go ahead and read them to you. Okay. You understand your
Yeah, I
rights. Do
understand
you
my
wish to proceed with questioning?
I mean, I don't see a reason why not.
Yes or no? I have to have an affirmative.
Yes, I guess. So,
What's in
yes.
that bag?
Meth.
Okay, methamphetamines. What's in your pocket that I'm about to pull out because it feels like pills?
Oh, Tylenol. That's right. I forgot about the Tylenol.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Before I start pulling anything else out, stand still. Come over here to the car. Hey, ma'am, go ahead and step out of the vehicle and hang out over here. Go to the back of the vehicle, both of y'all.
I'm surprised that he left two people in the vehicle this whole time.
Have a seat right here.
Right. That is something else that is coming out. Now he's out here by himself. He ain't, I mean, he's called for a canine, but they might be 10, 20 minutes away.
Yeah, that seems. I'm not a law enforcement professional, but that seems procedurally dodgy to be handling it that way. Seems like you would want all of the subjects secured and restrained before you proceed with the investigating.
Right here in the grass. Y'all both have a seat right over there.
Put my phone in.
That's fine. You got any information back from the county yet? They got a K-9 team on the way. What's this other?
Oh, it's a opal.
What's an opal? These are supposed to give you good luck.
Yeah.
That's not really good luck tonight, is it?
Yes, it is. I have a chance to go get some. Doesn't that sound good?
Hey, you know what? That's actually a good way to. That's a good way to think about it. Actually, that's actually a good way to think about it. Go ahead. Y'all may have done something tonight and ended up in hospital. You never know. Really hate that you're doing that stuff, man. It's not good for you. I know, man. Once you start it, it's like impossible to stop it. Give me just a second, all right? Go have a seat over here with them, all right? Yes, sir. Providing all this stuff voluntarily, so I appreciate it. All over a tag light out and whatever.
All right, where did we go horribly wrong on this?
You mean from the officer's perspective?
No, from the people in the car's perspective.
Strapping dead driftwood to your white car probably wasn't the best idea.
Yes, but I mean, even after that, there was a point here where everyone could have just gone to jail and not talk to the cops.
Yeah, but I don't know. If you're driving around in that car, I feel like your night ending in a trip to jail isn't going to be that big of a shock.
All right, I'll give you that one. You won on that one.
What you're doing with all that stuff? Because I thought
We were going down here. Actually, the other day we came down and camped right here and we caught catfish.
He was just going fishing.
Again.
man, what's your name? Well, I'm probably going to ask you some questions. I'm going to go ahead and read you your rights too. If I want to step over here real quick. Don't touch any of that. Okay, come right over here. You have the right to remain silent. Okay. Go ahead and state your name, please. Your name? Do you have some family here?
I was born and raised in East Guatemala.
Good
I could just
God.
talk to another.
What?
And that's probably my family.
Okay. Both have the right to remain silent. Anything you
Might be a
say
female
can and will be
dinner.
used against you in a court of law. With these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to me now?
I've been honest with you.
I kind of dig that T-shirt.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Is there any more weed or anything in
There
there?
should be nothing else in there. Nowhere.
Okay. Do you have anything else on you?
Nope.
No, we done smoked it already, Oscar.
Crazy. My daddy taught me how to fish, hunt, do all that stuff. So that's just what I do.
Half the time, I don't even realize she's speaking English. I got no idea what those sounds meant.
I
I ain't got no other.
It's good old fashioned American gibberish.
Yes.
10-4, patch them through to my personal. Y'all have a receipt real quick, okay? Did you throw anything out of the
So
car?
I see an Auburn T-shirt. So I'm guessing we're Southern Alabama, Florida Panhandle area.
That would be my
I'm
guess.
about to find it if it's over there. Nothing else in the car. That's it. Just that one little baggie. Okay. Yeah, tag light did not work. No tag light.
Covert off.
Good afternoon. So we got this subject over here. Joseph Reginald.
Yeah.
Something, you know him?
Yeah, I know all of them.
Okay.
Well, I don't know the closest one to us. but-
I know all of them.
I had some. He already advised us.
But you know what my question is?
But I think there's.
What's that?
The question I can't help thinking about is, what were their plans for this evening if they didn't get pulled over by the cops? Like, how was that evening gonna play out?
I have no reason to disbelieve this young lady that she was going fishing. I know people like this. I am from Middle Georgia, not terribly far away from where this woman is, and this is not as weird as you might think it is.
Well, especially when you're dealing with meth heads. You know, it's 2:00 in the morning. Let's go do random thing right now. I mean, that's totally within the realm of believability.
Sure, and let's put a bunch of wood on top of the car so we
Yes.
can do what we're doing while we're doing it
Let's-
because we took all our batteries apart making bathtub meth.
Let's strap a bunch of wood to the top of our car and we'll be totally incognito. Nobody will know a thing.
The pipe or something laying around here that he dropped, and there may be something else that he threw. I thought I saw her throw something out the window in this area, but right around in here when I initiated the 1050. But she says it might have just been a cigarette, but yes,
Yeah, I'm sure it was just a cigarette.
My canine is certified an article recovery. If I deploy my canine, is she going to find any?
The only thing he's seen that I know I threw out the car was a cigarette butt. I slipped
Okay,
it
what about
out.
you? You done anything? Because listen,
No.
here's the thing. If my dog goes over there and ingests me, you're all getting charged with murder.
There should
That's
be
murder of a
nothing
canine.
in every
Understand me?
car.
Y'all getting charged with dog murder.
Oh, I have.
Bro, did you have anything in that pipe you said you probably dropped? Was there anything in it?
Okay,
Could-
so
could
I'm
be
talking
something-
like large crystals.
I-
Anything that's going to ingest
I
in my
have
dog.
nothing like that. The only thing I had was the marijuana.
In the car.
She's like marijuana, yo. That's all
44
she's got.
Classic.
I love it.
Like, I'm serious. The moment you see that car, is there anything going through your head except fucking crackheads?
Right?
Who else could it possibly be?
At least they actually
I know. I just wanted to give.
at least they actually had fishing poles with them. I mean,
Do they?
yeah, no, they're sticking out the passenger side back seat window.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah.
The dog an opportunity to work. 'Cause,
might have fell out of my pocket in the car.
We found it.
where was it?
We got it.
That's what I'm saying. As far as I know, that's a good girl. You found it, baby.
Where was it?
We found it right there.
Oh, daggone.
That's a good girl.
Good dog.
That's a good girl. Yes.
That it right
Was
there, bud?
that-
Calm down, lady.
Was that no, I think that was the man that brought the dog, the one that was talking
I
a
think
minute.
so. I think you're right. That was way too excited.
Well, I mean, when you train dogs, you want them to get excited for
I know. You're glad that the dog did a good job. I'm just
but you
try to
want
make it sound slightly less orgasmic is all I'm saying.
the-
Okay. That's what you use for the methamphetamine? All right, well, he found the pipe. That's what I was looking for. Now, there's nothing else in the car that you know
I
of.
swear
And
there's
nothing that you know of.
nothing.
Holes.
Oh, please don't. Some of them are my mom's. My mom passed away a year ago, and my stepdad OD'd on fentanyl about 2 years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's
He,
horrible.
taking Lortabs, that's why he killed. And they were coated in fentanyl.
Yeah, that's horrible.
I'm trying to roll the window down so I can get my poles out.
You're
That's not
good.
working.
You sure there's nothing in there that I'm going to look
I know,
at?
I swear.
I believe it.
Why does she still have her hands free?
These are cooperative meth heads.
There we go.
I feel like there's a little bit lacking here procedurally.
Let's just ask you this one. Do you want to dig around in there?
I don't want to get within 20 feet of that vehicle or anyone in it. I feel like I'm gonna get chlamydia just from watching this video.
Because you know what it was all about.
All right.
Of course, he's been fishing here and everything. Get fishing on like a little creek up here.
All right, let's skip
Like
to the
Yeah.
again, if that was English, I have no idea what it was.
that was I'm telling you, that's bona fide American gibberish. I could translate for you, but I don't feel like being that much of a moron right now.
Yeah, you are definitely better positioned geographically to translate that than I am.
There you go.
Yeah, it's not cool. Poles out earlier. They was running.
All right, fishing pole.
Yeah. Break it.
Yeah, please.
All
Let's
right.
go
Just want to set
fishing.
them back here real quick, and I'll start.
Okay, here's my next question.
What it is.
If they caught some fish, where were they going to put them?
There's a bucket in the back seat. I did notice that.
Did you?
Yeah, there's a bucket in the back seat with a bunch
They're
of
more
stuff.
prepared than I gave them credit for then.
Yeah, I was actually kind of impressed by the spread that was laid out in here. They're definitely not coming home tonight. Right.
Yeah, that's. I'm with you.
September 17th was mine, her anniversary.
Yeah. You can't have that. It's open container in the car.
I honestly didn't even know.
Come on,
If you
man.
pour it out, if you want to.
No, I can't pour it out. That's yours. Are you allowed to have alcohol on probation? Alcohol?
I
What's
honestly,
alcohol and drugs, or just
I
drugs?
only got caught with drugs. I mean,
I know, but what are your release?
I don't think I'm supposed to drink. Like, that's been in there since the 17th. Dude.
Uh-huh.
I just can't, like, be out public.
Okay, that's fine.
Public.
I'm sure it's very old and you forgot all about it. Yep.
It does look pretty well stained there,
You've been
bro.
real cool. You were straight up honest about it. I'm going to give you a warning for the marijuana.
Thank
Okay, but
I
I'm
don't
going to
think
take
so.
it, and it's going to be destroyed. Okay, I
Okay.
got to complete a
I'm
property.
going to
receipt.
destroy
We
it in
gotta-
my car later, but there's nothing
Destroy that
happening.
marijuana.
I don't know what your PO's going to do.
That marijuana's been destroyed,
I don't know
bro.
if they're going to be okay you for that, but
Destroy the shit out of that motherfucker.
in exchange for that, I am going to write you for the open container. Yeah, that's the least of that's
What
it.
he's doing is he's putting it in your PO's hands.
Okay.
Letting your PO make the decision. on your property.
Okay, that's
They'll have it in evidence that they want it. I'm not doing that to you though. Okay,
okay.
you're straight up cool with me. The biggest thing is you just didn't have a tag light. And I'm out here looking for night hunters, and I
Yeah.
see this. It was just
I
Yeah.
was just talking to you, man.
Covert off.
I'll fix it.
look. I gave you the warning. That's the reason for this stop. But I gave you a warning for it. Just get it fixed.
Yeah,
that's
it'll be fixed.
that and the stuff you had on the top of your cars was the reason that I even
Yeah,
pulled
yeah.
you over. And then,
So
sorry,
you're gonna let him drive away like that?
do what I got to do.
Hey,
All right.
it's your job, sir.
And the other stuff, I was making sure that wasn't cut because you can't cut any.
Oh no, we were just riding, picking stuff up off the
Right.
road.
You can't cut any or remove any shrubbery or
Oh
anything
yeah,
from
no,
the
you gotta
main
have
road.
a $50.
He's not really gonna let him drive away.
For me, if you can get
I'm waiting
yeah.
for it,
But y'all
bro.
go ahead and crank your car up, see if it'll fire up.
The other day we were up there
You
and I'm like,
cannot be serious
ahead.
right now.
Crank up before I split, and you're good to hop in the front. All right, y'all good?
yeah, thank you, sir.
All right, y'all take it easy now.
I've just lost faith in so many institutions right now.
Oh, God bless America.
Well, I mean, even if you want to let them drive away, aren't they very clearly intoxicated?
Right, I mean, beyond that, I mean, the open container, they actually admitted to doing meth. They had a meth pipe on them. He tried to get rid of evidence. The dog hit on the car, and then he just turns them loose with, like, you're going back to jail for processing, but other than that, they'll handle it when they catch you.
That was one of the strangest body cam videos I've ever seen. I did not expect that to end that way.
Yeah, no. But, I mean, they're definitely under the influence of something. Did you see that car? I mean, come on.
Yes. Yes. I mean, you're not driving around in a car that looks like that unless you're under the influence of something. I mean, those are two mutually exclusive concepts. And like you said, let's go on a fishing trip in the middle of the night and strap random driftwood to the top of the car that we find on the side of the road when we're on our way. That's something that only crackheads would ever think to do. Crackheads that are actively on crack.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with anything that you've said there. It is all perfectly accurate and correct.
I would like a better idea of where that took place, though. I mean, I think we nailed it down to a sort of vague geographic area, but I wonder what department that was.
Florida. That has to be the Panhandle of Florida. Yes, sir.
And so it's probably Florida Highway Patrol.
No, that was Florida Wildlife and Conservation.
Oh, Fish and Game. Okay.
Yeah. Which makes perfect sense. Did he even check their fishing licenses?
I don't think he did.
I didn't see none of that.
That young man did not do a very thorough job, and I think I'm a little bit disappointed.
Well, you know how many meth heads they've got to run out of the woods every night and freaking.
I know. Because
it's Florida.
Because what happens when the second cop arrives? He says, "Yeah, I know all three of them." With that tone of resignation that, I see these fuckers every single weekend. They're just part of my life. Might as well be family.
Absolutely. Did you bring anything in you wanted to go over? Who won the Masters?
Rory McIlroy tried to choke away the Masters and won the thing on the first and only playoff hole. So good for him. Cool. Justin Rose almost pulled it off. You got to see the shot he hit on 16. He bounced it directly into the cup on the 16th. So he makes eagle and all of a sudden is tied. And then McIlroy tries to pee down his leg on 18. They wind up in a 1-hole playoff, and McIlroy birdies the hole and wins the tournament as he should have done. He tried to choke, failed to choke.
You have English by Captain Curmudgeon. I have no idea what any of that means. I'm sure someone out there will translate it for me later. Whether I can read out some today in history if we want to do that. Oh yeah, sure.
All right,
let's do some of that stuff.
All right, let's go all the way back to the year 1111. Henry V, King of Germany, is crowned Holy Roman Emperor. 1204, this is a big one. Constantinople falls to the Crusaders, ending the Fourth Crusade, temporarily ending the Byzantine Empire. 1455, the 13 Years' War, the beginning of the battle for, I don't even know how to say the name of that city, so I'm not going to try. What do we have in 1601 through 1900? 1612, Samurai Miyamoto Musashi defeats Sasaki Kojiro in a very famous duel at Funajima Island. 1699, the Sikh religion is formalized as the Khalsa, the Brotherhood of Warrior Saints, by Guru Gobind Singh in northern India, in accordance with the... God, why did I pick things with so many damn unpronounceable words? Here we go. American Revolutionary War, 1777. American forces are ambushed and defeated in the Battle of Bound Brook, New Jersey. We don't like getting defeated. As Americans, we come back and we defeat your ass, and you lose the war, and we don't. So think about that the next time you consider defeating us, is all I'm saying. 1829, the Roman Catholic Relief Act gives Roman Catholics in the United Kingdom the right to vote and to sit in Parliament. What a bunch of craziness that is. We're going to let Catholics vote and be elected to office? What kind of madness are we talking about here, guys? 1861, the American Civil War. Union forces surrender Fort Sumter to the Confederacy. And that was... We should probably talk about that one. That was the moment where the good people of the North realized, wow, maybe this is going to be an actual war, isn't it? This might not be...
I'll tell you, sir, I do not want to discuss the war of northern aggression. I find it coarse and vulgar.
This here war might not be the cakewalk that we thought it was going to be. I'll say, boy. And then 4 years later, just like clockwork, 1865, Raleigh, North Carolina, occupied by Northern forces. That's how that goes. Sorry about it. 1870, the New York City Metropolitan Museum of Art is founded. 1873, here's a sad one. The Colfax Massacre. More than 600 to 150 black men are murdered in Colfax, Louisiana, while surrendering to a mob of former Confederate soldiers and members of the Ku Klux Klan.
That's where you went wrong.
That's where you went wrong. 1919, another thing I can't pronounce. British Indian Army troops led by Brigadier General Reginald Dyer kill approximately 379 unarmed demonstrators, including men and women. Well, what the fuck else would it include? In Amritsar, India, with approximately 1,500 injured. 1941, a pact of neutrality between the USSR and Japan is signed, and we know exactly how long that one lasted, don't we? 1943, the discovery of mass graves of Polish prisoners of war killed by the Soviet forces in the Katyn Forest massacre is announced, causing a very severe diplomatic rift between the Polish government in exile in London and the Soviet Union, which of course denies responsibility, even though everybody knows they freaking did it. 1943, the Jefferson Memorial is dedicated in Washington, D.C. on the 200th anniversary of President Thomas Jefferson's birth, and what a beautiful building it is. 1945, German troops kill more than 1,000 political and military prisoners in Gardelegen, Germany. 1945, also, Soviet and Bulgarian forces capture Vienna, which was a sad day for the Austrians. I guess you're bound to end with a sad day when you throw in with the Nazis and decide to be part of their country, so I guess the Austrians kind of had it coming. But the Austrians, they wound up being in a world of shit for the next 40 or 45 years, didn't they? I don't think the Austrians ever imagined being under the thumb of Soviet communism, but that's what the Austrians wound up with. So maybe the next time the Nazis want to annex you, just tell them to fuck off, is all I'm saying. 1953, CIA Director Alan Dulles launches the mind control project MK Ultra, and I'm sure our co-host has something to say about that one.
Go ahead, brother. We'll
See what I mean? 1964, at the Academy Awards, Sidney Poitier becomes the first African-American man to win the Best Actor award for the 1963 film Lilies of the Field. Here's a good one, something we've talked about before on this very program. 1970, an oxygen tank aboard the Apollo 13 service module explodes, putting the crew in great danger and causing major damage to the Apollo command and service module codenamed Odyssey while en route to the moon. And what happened in the end? We got those men back home safely because we are Americans, and that is what Americans do.
Houston, we've had a problem.
And we're going to solve the fucking thing. 1976, the United States Treasury Department reintroduces the $2 bill as a Federal Reserve note on Thomas Jefferson's 233rd birthday as part of the United States bicentennial celebration, which I think we should do something similar for the 250th birthday of America, which is coming up just next year, don't you think? Somebody needs to get on that. Who should we give a new Federal Reserve note to who doesn't have one already? You know who doesn't have his own bill is Theodore Roosevelt.
Ooh.
That seems like something that we could probably get Trump to remedy, doesn't it? Because we know that Trump is a big TR fan. Who isn't a big TR fan, for God's sake?
Jeez, he met Sasquatch.
1997, Tiger Woods becomes the youngest golfer to win the Masters tournament. Everybody remembers that one, don't they? 23-year-old Tiger just lapping the field, making everybody look like a bitch in his little red shirt. They had to Tiger-proof every golf course in North America because he was so dominant. What a fun time that was.
Right.
We remember this one. 2022, the Russian cruiser Moskva, flagship of the Russian fleet, is attacked by 2 Ukrainian R-360 Neptune anti-ship missiles and goes to the bottom of the Black Sea near Snake Island, because it's always a great look when you start the war by getting your flagship sunk. Especially when your other flagship can't even steam under her own power and has to be towed from place to place. It's a really outstanding look for the Russian Navy, which has such a very, very distinguished naval tradition to begin with.
The Russian Navy.
Oh, Russia.
Dude,
we can't help it sometimes.
Didn't we go over that the mission they took to like Japan or whatever, and they ended up like
the voyage of the Second Pacific Squadron when
yes that's it.
Because as we know, Russia is constrained in which of their naval forces they can deploy at any given time of the year, because many of their ports are often frozen over, so they've got to deploy. The Black Sea Fleet is the only thing they can deploy at the time they need to make the deployment. So they put this fleet together and they say, go find your way over to China and kick Japan's ass and take Port Arthur back for us, because we don't like these Japanese guys making us look like a bunch of bitches. We're Europeans, they're Japanese, they need to know their place. It's not the place of Asians to be making Europeans look like fools, so we got to go put a stop to this. So you're going to sail. And not all of the ships made it there. Not all of the men made it there. But by the time they did make it there, those of them that made it, they lost probably the worst ass kicking in the history of modern naval combat at the Battle of Tsushima. It was, I mean, there's really no way of dressing it up. They got kicked up one side of the strait and down the other, and it was, as we know, the first ever defeat of a Western Navy, if Russia counts as a Western Navy, by an Asian Navy. And Russia's still pretty embarrassed about it up to this very day, as they should be, and their Navy hasn't gotten a whole hell of a lot better since then, if we're being honest, since, you know, their flagship gets sunk by drones and their other flagship can't steam under her own power. I don't make the news, folks. I just report it. Right. But yeah, that was a war that the Battle of Tsushima happens, of course, and then it becomes unclear what the final disposition of the war is going to be, and President Theodore Roosevelt jumps in and he offers to be the mediator of the peace treaty, as he does wind up being, and he wins the Nobel Peace Prize, the first American ever to win that award, and it does a lot to increase the prestige of the United States as far as being a player on the world stage, because when you're mediating treaties between great powers, then obviously you must be a great power yourself. And President Roosevelt is so emboldened by this achievement, he's really single-minded about turning the United States into a major world power. And after he successfully negotiates this treaty, then he gets the idea to send the Great White Fleet on its famous voyage around the world, which was another ingredient of his wanting to increase this country's stature on the world stage. And that goes hand in hand also with the building of the Panama Canal, because we don't have the Panama Canal yet when President Roosevelt sends the Great White Fleet on its voyage around the world. So the other point he's trying to make is that imagine how much shorter this voyage would be if we could take a shortcut through freaking Panama. So how about let's go there and finish building this ditch that the French failed at building, because we're better than the French. We can finish the fucking thing, and then we will own it, and we will be the master of the high seas for the next century and a half, which is pretty much what the reality wound up being.
That's exactly how that plays out. And not to shortchange the Panama Canal, because that thing is an absolute wonder of engineering. Some of those doors are ginormous, massive, and to think we are now building liners that cannot use it is amazing.
Oh yeah, so, the biggest passenger ships they're building now, they don't have a chance of squeezing through that. So they each either operate in their own area of the world where they don't ever have to traverse the canal. And there's not much chance of expanding it either. I mean, there probably would be a chance if we took the thing over again. I don't know if that's going to happen. I would be in favor of it if we took it over again. I think everybody knows. I think that it was an idiotic idea to hand it back to Panama in the first place. But I ain't Jimmy Carter.
Yeah. No. The thing is where it's located currently is less than desirable than some real estate that's a little bit across the border over there that would be better placed. So we'll wait and see what takes place as far as all that's concerned.
Yeah, and not many people realize that when you traverse the Panama Canal from the east side to the west side, you actually travel from west to east, because you go around the corner of the isthmus and then cut, because the engineering achievement is really something that everybody should read about and appreciate, because even though it was 120 years ago now, it is still one of the most badass achievements of man over nature that has ever been accomplished by any people anywhere, and we are the people that did it. And imagine the last 11 decades of world history without that canal existing, and how much different it might look, especially with regard to the power that our country now wields on the world stage. We would be in a world that is unrecognizable, I would submit.
Absolutely. So I got some stupid stuff that people did that I want to laugh at. Do you want to laugh at it with me?
I love stupid stuff.
Oh yeah, I love stupid stuff. It's really the whole reason I'm here on this platform. So you're familiar with Acorn Stash. He's my good buddy that collects all the memes, makes the Laugh While the World's Burning series. I absolutely love it, and I can't get enough. So this unfortunate young lady has had a bad morning.
Correcting me, telling me that it's Cybertruck and not Tesla truck. I don't care. I don't care what it's called. I hate them. I hate them. I need them off the streets. I need them off the road. I need them off the highway. I need them out of my town. I need them out of my country. I'm so sick of them. I'm so sick of Tesla trucks. Cybertrucks.
Just another liberal melting down over simple facts.
Dum dum dum.
Imagine being capable of getting that upset over the car somebody else drives who's a complete stranger.
God. Oh my God. And you know what this
and
is?
And then making a video about it.
What type of person bought Teslas when they were all the rage like 5 years ago? Is there a particular
environmentalist liberal douchebags?
And so whose Teslas are getting freaking keyed now?
Exactly.
They will eat their own. Just give them time.
Oh, they always do. That Ouroboros always comes back to consuming its own tail every time.
And welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Acorn. I hope all of you are having a great weekend and that you're ready for today's show, Laugh While the World Burns.
He was the one who called it the Biden-Obama administration. I didn't make that up.
That is modern day society. If you enjoy this series, please help support the channel and enjoy today's show to the end. And share this video with your family, friends, and social media. We have a lot of good memes and idiocracy news this week. But first, I do have a channel announcement that I will get into later in the show. And second, due to a technical problem, the content that was submitted to the channel by my viewers, which is in today's show, lost all of your names. And therefore, I do not know who sent in what. So unfortunately, there won't be any names to pop up during today's show. I do apologize about this, but I do want to thank all of you who submit content to the channel. With that said, let's jump into today's show. Canada begins construction on a wall at the Canada-US.
Yeah, I'm going to let that one percolate for a while. I mean,
oh God!
I love beavers. I can't tell you how much I love beavers.
There's nothing to do but stand and applaud for that one.
That's brilliant. Beavers and American chestnuts, they're the greatest things on earth.
Oh God, I love that so much.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let it soak for a second.
Yeah, that's good. Yep. That one should be allowed to marinate a little bit.
Well, those beavers could probably build a wall faster than any of the contractors that the government hires. It's really cool to be alive in America at this point in history because it's like the collapse of the Roman Empire, but with Wi-Fi.
Ladies and gentlemen, the premise of our show. And we didn't point it out. It just popped up there. One of the suggestions I made for the name of this show was Pax Americana. And it's funny because someone else has used that to do a less than savory type of show. And I find it interesting.
We should spend more time talking about the collapse of the Roman Empire. It's an endless, it's a topic that never stops giving.
Dude, between the Goths and the Visigoths, there's what, like 192 years of freaking just absolute madness.
Yeah, and the fact that we actually know that history in such a detailed way and are still able to study it is freaking awesome. And God bless our distant ancestors for preserving their records so well.
Dude, there are some wild stories in that freaking time period. That like along the lines of Odysseus, except like it happened.
Well, there is stuff when you study that period, as there is when you study any period, that makes you realize and reinforces the whole idea that there is absolutely nothing under the sun in human politics and governance. All we do is change the window dressing, but all the same events and all the same people keep happening.
But sure, man. But does the Onion have to write our headlines? Jeez.
That's fairly accurate, actually. Most people just don't know it yet, though. Power Rangers writer says casting Black and Asian actors as Black Ranger and Yellow Ranger was such a mistake. I actually read part of this, and I think it said that it wasn't even realized until the end of season 2 that during a staff meeting that somebody pointed this out.
And God bless him for it. The guy who pointed it out should have been fired immediately.
If you made that show today, every ranger except the Black Ranger would have to be black, and the Black Ranger would be trans.
You got me. Transgender, one-legged, disabled Eskimo basket weaver.
Yes. Latina.
Judge rules against appalling Virginia private school that suspended student for waiting to report on classmate with a bullet until exam ended. A judge in Virginia called it appalling that a school decided to suspend a sixth grader for not more quickly reporting that his classmate brought a bullet to class after the boy waited until his test was over.
What was he going to do with the bullet? Throw it at somebody?
You're not supposed to have it in the school.
I know you're not supposed to have it, but if they treated it exactly as like a firearm, which I'm sure they probably did, that's fucking ridiculous and stupid.
It's a little ridiculous and stupid, but given the rules that are written, the way they're written, I don't think you should go after the kid that just finished his test and told at the first possible opportunity. You know, what's up, Divine Sorcerer? Welcome in.
Well, the whole problem with zero tolerance policies is they do not permit of human discretion and judgment.
Right. And I mean, discretion, it's needed, but at the same time, it's usually misused when utilized. So
yes,
it's a hard egg to crack on that one. I mean, what do you do?
Judge Vivian Henderson of Virginia Beach ruled in favor of Rachel Wigand, the suspended child's mother, in her lawsuit against St. John the Apostle Catholic School. Wigand claimed that the private school violated its contract by suspending her son for a day and a half in September. This country is divided. But one thing we can all agree on, that Disney's Snow White live-action movie is garbage.
Oh,
when
yes.
everyone thinks
yes. Let's put a pause there. Let's talk about Snow White a little bit. Is it safe at this point to call Snow White the biggest flop in motion picture history? Because I think there's a fairly compelling argument you can make to that effect. I don't say that because I'm biased. I say it because that thing is not going to hit $100 million domestic or $300 million worldwide, which is...
So they sank this movie in money. They put so much money in this movie that it drowned under the weight of its own financing. They reshot reshots and rewrote rewrites and reshot rewrites of reshot rewrites until no one involved had any idea what was actually going on. Because remember, it was going to be dwarves to start with, and then little people, and then it was going to be CGI little people, and then it was going to be the collection of diverse, strange guys that live in the forest together, and then it went back to being CGI, terribly animated dwarves that are a thing of nightmares.
Yes, they are nightmare fuel. They are absolute horrifying nightmare fuel.
So, like, if you go back to the original premise of making the live action movie, and you even kept in all the woke tartary, it might have actually broken even. But they didn't. They drowned it in money.
And for amazingly, still for whatever reason, even after all the billions of dollars that have been lost on picture after picture after picture, the people in that industry persist in the belief, the totally irrational belief, that you can rewrite and reshoot a bad movie into being good, and you can't. They probably would have been better off just releasing the first version of whatever they had. It still would have failed disastrously, but you could have at least saved everything that you spent on all the rewrites and the reshoots and the rewrites and the reshoots and the remarketing and remarketing and remarketing. Just put out the original piece of shit and let it fail.
I want to send all of that footage to Jack Snyder. I want the whole 10,000 hours that they filmed doing all the reshoots to Jack Snyder.
Oh my God! Can you even imagine how much he could stretch out that runtime with all the slow motion he would do?
Yes, I know.
Every single shot.
And also they'd have to add in some communist grade close up.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh, don't get me started.
You've been launching missiles in the ocean because you're a madman. In reality, you've been the only thing holding back Godzilla for years.
I mean, do I need to put my tinfoil hat on for this one? I mean, either he's real or he's not. And I'm talking about Xi Jinping, Mr. Rocket Man over here.
Little Rocket Man.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope it's really true that he's got no anus.
I'm old enough to remember when paper bags were being blamed for the destruction of trees, and plastic bags were the solution.
Yeah. Anyone else here remember that?
I sure as hell do.
We used to use paper bags to put on our freaking books, right? We'd put them on the book so that the book could still be in good condition when we turned it back into the school, and everybody did it. Everybody drew on their paper bag covers, and then they replaced all the paper bags with plastics, and all the books got screwed up, and now children are stupid. I blame the trees.
For my entire life, the whole society has been bending over backward to do whatever the environmentalists say is the thing you're supposed to do right now. And then every few years they change it and they change it. And no, we don't need to do that. We need to do the opposite thing. No, we need to do the opposite thing of that. No, but we're still the ones who know what everyone is supposed to do. And forgive me if I think your credibility diminishes every single time you make a 180-degree turn about what you say you want us to do to satisfy you. How about you just shut up and let us go about living our lives?
How do you like your paper straws?
Yeah, exactly. How do you like your goddamn paper straws?
Yeah.
There's no better way to sum it up than with that question right there.
Absolutely. Jesus.
Yeah, and we also remember
They
when
need
they didn't
Jesus.
cut down millions of acres of forest to build solar and wind farms while claiming that they're saving the planet. AOC vows to only use lowercase letters to fight capitalism.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God. Hold on.
Me.
I meant to go get the quote, and I totally forgot it. If anybody can freaking show me the freaking quote, I want to see it. But apparently, AOC went to some climate meeting with some big hobnobs out there, right? And while she was on the plane, she made some statement about fighting capitalism one mimosa at a time. And mimosa socialist should be the new coined term for the modern bourgeoisie.
Yeah, if that's a real thing, I absolutely want that video. I will do a whole episode about it if it exists.
I'm gonna search for it. I meant to do it earlier. I forgot all about it till right this second.
Setting my VPN to England and spreading banned memes to troll their government.
Nice.
Liberals in 2025 fight climate change, vandalize Teslas.
Oh, put a pause in.
Absolutely.
You know what my favorite departure is between a dozen years ago and today is that all the same people who back in 2012, 2013 were on the Occupy Wall Street train. What are they saying today? They're saying, save the investment bankers. Oh my God, the Dow Jones is dropping. Somebody do something. That's all the same stupid people who used to be saying Occupy Wall Street. These people don't believe in anything. They just know how to do current thing. You tell them what current thing is and they support current thing. It doesn't matter what current thing is. It doesn't matter how stupid they're making themselves look. They're not smart enough to realize they look stupid. They just want to support current thing because that's how you show your virtuousness.
I'm going to get a copy of somebody saying current thing in like a huge echo just to drop occasionally.
Beautiful.
I believe that would be useful for us.
That would be just as useful as the rim shot.
That I can never remember because it's in the wrong slot.
Oh, no. You don't know what happened?
No.
Welcome in, GT. Good to see you, bud. Rimvid, El Para. Good to see both of y'all. Appreciate it.
So, you want to talk about what happened there?
Yeah.
No. I don't know what happened.
You didn't see that Tesla?
No.
Okay. But we have something.
Okay.
So, what?
The left is anti-cordless hole puncher and pro-environment unless they are shooting up and burning Tesla dealerships.
It is kind of fun that the people who so enjoy firebombing Teslas don't seem to realize that the cars are completely festooned with cameras from stem to stern, and nobody can do anything to that car without a video record existing of it. And these people act just so shocked that they've been busted. Like, are you really that stupid? I mean, as stupid as you have to be to begin with to express your love for the environment by firebombing an electric car, but that's completely beside the point.
But is it though?
Perhaps not. I'll give you that.
Got it? Male fencer competing in women's division already has 2 gold medals in 6 events. Female opponent says she has nowhere to go. The male athlete's best finish in the men's category was 3rd place. A female fencer who forfeited a match against a male athlete said there are no options for women if men are allowed to compete in women's sports. Stephanie Turner of the Fencing Academy of Philadelphia was set to fence against Redmond Sullivan of Wagner College at a recent tournament, but refused to participate in the sport against a male opponent, and she took a knee to forfeit the match. An official approached the woman and gave her a black card, disqualifying her from the tournament with the highest tier of penalty possible.
And we're happy to report that they are now under investigation by the U.S. Department of Education, which, if the U.S. Department of Education has to still exist for some brief period of time, at least they should be doing good and worthwhile things like that. God bless you, Linda McMahon. You take a steel chair to every one of those bastards, and don't you think twice about it. Am I talking us out already?
It's that time.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks ever so much for joining us here on the Blast Radius. We sure do like it when you spend your Sunday evenings with us, even when I don't remember how to talk. Stay tuned for a lot of new videos from me this week, potentially. Just saying. Please have a blessed week and a fantastic rest of your Sunday evening, and we will see you next time right back here, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, Sunday evening, as we always do. Blast Radius, baby. 4L. Until next time. See you next time. Do not comply. Get off my lawn.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?